We are now on Chapter 2, which is the Designing the Curriculum. We are now on Module 3, the Teacher as a Curriculum Designer. Before we will proceed to our presentation, we would like to share to you a short video.
Wala, huwag niyong kakalimutan yung gamot niya, ha? Bibili ulit ako mamaya. Sige po, ulit na ako. Good morning, class.
Good morning, Miss Analyn.
Okay, so ito na ang test results ninyo. Alvarez, Castro, Cuenco. Sabi sa'yo, kaya mo yan eh.
Teacher.
As you can see on the video, that there are many hard works and challenges that the teacher has faced, and a simple appreciation and a simple hug made it all better and made it all worth it. Because curriculum design processes are essential to effective learning experiences across education and professional contexts. Without effective curriculum design processes, learners often lack the structure and guidance necessary for optimal learning and organization. Curriculum design is operationally defined for this chapter as the intentional planning, organization, and design of learning strategies, processes, materials, and experiences towards defined learning and performance outcomes. Curriculum design is concerned with much more than learning materials. In one sense, curriculum design is creating a holistic plan of the environments where learning happens. This includes considering the physical, digital, social, and psychological factors that defines the spaces and places where people learn. There are 4 approaches to curriculum designing. 1 is subject design. 2nd is discipline design. 3rd, correlation design. And 4th, which is the broad field design or interdisciplinary. So first is the subject design. In the subject design, what subjects are you teaching? What subjects are you taking? These are 2 simple questions that the teacher and the learner can easily answer. It is because they are familiar with the subject design curriculum. Subject design curriculum is the oldest and so far most familiar design for teachers, parents, and other laymen. According to the advocates, subject design has an advantage because it is easy to deliver. Textbooks are written and support instructional materials are commercially available. However, the drawback of this design is that sometimes learning is so compartmentalized that it stresses so much the content and forgets about students' natural tendencies, interests, and experiences. This is a traditional approach to teaching and learning.
Discipline design. This curriculum design model is related to the subject design. However, while subject design centers only on the cluster of content, discipline design focuses on academic disciplines. Discipline refers to a specific knowledge learned through a method which the scholars use to study a specific content of their fields. Students in history should learn the subject matter like historians. Students in biology should learn how the biologists learn. And so with students in mathematics, who should learn how mathematicians learn. In the same manner, teachers should teach how the scholars in the discipline will convey the particular knowledge. Discipline design model of curriculum is often used in college, but not in the elementary or secondary levels. So from the subject-centered curriculum moves higher to a discipline when the students are more mature and are already moving toward their career path, or disciplines as science, mathematics, psychology, humanities, history, and others. Correlation design. Coming from a core, correlated curriculum design links separate subject designs in order to reduce fragmentation. Subjects are related to one another and still maintain their identity. For example, English literature and social studies correlate well in the elementary level. In the two subjects, while history is being studied, different literary pieces during the historical period are also being studied. The same is true when science becomes the core. Mathematics is related to it, as they are taken in chemistry, physics education, biology. Another example is literature as the core with art, music, history, geography related to it. To use correlated design, teachers should come together and plan their lesson cooperatively.
Hi everyone, my topic is talk about broad-field design or interdisciplinary. The broad-field design or interdisciplinary is a variation of the subject-centered design. This design was made to cure the compartmentalization of the separate subject and integrate the contents that are related to one another. Those subjects such as geography, economics, political science, anthropology, sociology, and history are fused into one subject that is called social studies. The broad-field design combines two or more related subjects into a single broad field of study. For example, language arts combine the separate but related subjects of reading, spelling, writing, speaking, listening, and composition. The next is learner-centered design. Among progressive educational psychologists, the learner is the center of the educative process. This emphasis is very strong in the elementary levels. However, more concern has been placed on the secondary and in the tertiary levels. Although in the high school, the subject or content has become the focus, and in the college level, the discipline is the center both still recognize the importance of the learner in the curriculum. Here are some examples of learner-centered design. Child-centered design, experience-centered design, and humanistic design.
Child-centered design. This design is often attributed the influence of John Dewey, Roggio Pestalozzi, and Frankfeld. The curriculum design is accorded on the needs and interests of the child. The learner is not considered a passive individual, but who one engage with his/her environment. On learners, by doing learning actively, create, contract meanings, and understanding as a view by the constructivist and the child-centered design. Learners interact with the teachers and the environment, thus there is a collaborative effort on both sides to plan lessons, select content, and do activities. Learning is a product of the child's interaction with the environment. Experience-centered design. This design is similar to child-centered design, although the focus remains to be child. Experience-centered design believes the interests and needs of learner cannot be pre-planned. Instead, experiences of the learners become the starting point of the curriculum. Thus, the school environment is left open and free. Learners are made to choose from various activities that the teacher provides. The learners are empowered to shape their own learning from the different opportunities given by the teacher. In school, where experience-centered curriculum is provide different learning centered are around different emphasis such as touching, feeling, imagining, contacting, relating, and others. The emergence of multiple intelligent theory blend well with experience-centered design curriculum. So, experience-centered design is a curriculum that emphasizes learning, gives broad and varied experience of information, skills, attitude, and enjoyments. It refers to a sequences of educational experiences that develop from the needs, interests, and goals of the student. For example, the courses need to be very user-friendly so that learners can navigate the course without any difficulty.
Humanistic design. The key influence in this curriculum design is Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers. Maslow's theory of self-actualization explained that a person who achieves this level is accepting of self. Others and nature is simple, spontaneous, and natural, is open to different experiences, possesses empathy, the sympathy towards the less fortunate among the many others. The person can achieve this stage of self-actualization later in life but has to start the process while still in school. Carl Rogers, on the other hand, believed that a person can enhance self-directed learning by improving self-understanding, the basic attitude to guide behavior. In a humanistic curriculum design, the development of self is the ultimate objective of learning. It stresses the whole person and the integration of thinking, feelings, and doing. It considers the cognitive, affective, psychomotor domains, develop the positive and concepts, and interpersonal skills. Next, problem-centered design. Generally, problem-centered design draws on social problems, needs, interests, and abilities of the learners. Various problems are given emphasis. There are those that centered on life situation, contemporary life problems, areas of living, and many others. In this curriculum, content cuts across subject boundaries and must be based on needs, concerns, and abilities of the student. Two examples are given for the problem-centered design curriculum. Life situation design. What makes the design unique is that the content are organized in ways that allow students to clearly view problem areas. It uses the past and the present experiences of learners as a means to analyze the basic areas of living. As a starting point, the processing immediate problems of the society and the student existing concerns are utilized. Based on Herbert Spencer's curriculum writing, his emphasized were activities that sustain life, enhance life, aid and rearing children, maintain the individual social and political relation, and enhance leisure tasks and feelings. The connection of subject matter to real situation increases the relevance of the curriculum.
Morning to each and everyone. I'm Catubay, and my report is all about core problem design. Another example of core problem design is a core design is its center on general education, and the problem are based on the common human activity. The central focus of the core design includes common needs problem and concern of the learner, popularized by Pons and Bossing in 1959. It presents ways on how to proceed using core design of curriculum. There are the steps. Step 1. Make group consensus in important problem. And the step 2. Develop criteria for selection of important problem. And the step 3. State and define the problem. And the step 4. Decide on areas of study including class grouping. And the step 5. List the needed information for sources. And step 6. Obtain and organize information. And step 7. Analyze the interpret the information. And step 8. State the tentative conclusion. And step 9. Present and report to the class individually by group. And step 10, evaluate the conclusion. And the last number, step 11, explore the other avenue for further problem solving. Let's proceed to approaches to curriculum design models. There are the three models of curriculum design. First is subject-centered, and the second learner-centered, and the third problem-centered design. Child or learner-centered approach. So a child learner-centered approach is view learners as active against bring their own knowledge, past experience, evaluation, and ideas, and there are impacts how to take on board new information and learners. This approach to curriculum design is based on the underlying philosophy that the child or learners is center of the educational process.
Principle of child-centered curriculum approach. First is acknowledge and respect the fundamental rights of the child. The second principle is make all activities revolve around the overall development of the learner. So third is consider the uniqueness of every learner in a multicultural classroom. Fourth principle is considered using differentiated instruction or teaching. So the fifth one principle is provide a motivating, supportive learning environment for all the learners. The child-centered approach is illustrated in the example below. School X is anchored on the theory of multiple intelligence in all its curricular and co-curricular activities. Every classroom provides activity centers where the children can learn on their own with the different learning resources. Subject-centered approach. This anchored is a curriculum design which prescribes separate distinct subjects for every educational level: basic education, higher educational, or vocational technical education. This approach considers the following principles. First is the primary focus is the subject matter. Second is the emphasis is on bits and pieces of information which may be detached from life. So the third one is the subject matter. Serves means of identifying problem of living. So accumulation of knowledge is of the primary importance in teaching learner-centered design. Fifth one is teacher's role is dispense the content curriculum. Problem-centered approach. This approach is based on a design which assumes that in the process of living, children experience problems. This problem solving enables the learners to become increasingly able to achieve complete or total development as individuals. First is the learners are capable of directing and guiding themselves and resolving problems, thus developing every learner to be independent. The second is the learner are prepared to assume their civic responsibilities through direct participation in different activities. So the students is active participation in direct activities. The curriculum leads the learners in the recognition of concerns and problems in seeking solutions. Learners are problem solvers themselves. An example of the problem-centered approach in presented below. School believes that the learner's school should try to solve real-life problems that come about because of the needs, interests, and abilities of the learner's problems persistent in life and society that affect daily living are also considered. Most of the school activities revolve around finding solution to problems like poverty, drug problems, climate change, natural calamities, and many more. Beliefs of curriculum mapping. Curriculum mapping ensures alignment of the desired learning outcomes, learning activities, and assignment of learning. Curriculum mapping addresses the gap of repetition and curriculum. It reveals certain program goals or learning outcomes. The benefits curriculum mapping is that improves the link between curriculum, assignment, and instruction in school. For example, it is set scope or or requests and place of learning aligned across grades, subject, and standards. Curriculum mapping process. Curriculum mapping is the process, index, or diagramming a curriculum to identify and address academic gaps, reduce and misalignment for purpose of improving the overall enhance of a course of study and by extensions its effectiveness. What is OBE? For example of OBE is a degree program college make a matrix of spreadsheet identify the degree or program outcome, BEd or BSed, identify the subject or course under the degree, grade for Ed and major BSed. List the subject along the vertical cells of matrix in a logical or chronological order list the degree program. Outcomes along the horizontal cells. Use good. After accomplishing the map, use it as a guide for all teachers teaching the course for students to complete the degree in 4 years. For example, the OBE it means outcome-based education. That's all. Thank you.
Example B for a degree program in college. Number 1. Make a matrix or a spreadsheet. Number 2. Identify our program outcomes. Example, BEd and BSed. Number 3. Identify the subject or courses under the degree, like Gen Ed, Prof Ed, and major of BSed. Number 4. List the subjects along the vertical shelf of matrix in a logical or chronological order. Number 5. List the degree program outcomes along the horizontal cell. Number 6. Cross the subject and outcome and determine if such subject accomplishes the outcome as either learned. Number 7. Fill up all cells. Number 8. After accomplishing the map, use it as a guide of teaching the course for students to complete the degree in 4 years. And the next is the continuation of my report. The curriculum map. When we say curriculum map provide the quality control of what taught in school to maintain excellence, efficiency, and effectiveness. This is necessarily or state-mandated, standard-based, and statement-based and assessment that we have in schools. A curriculum map is always a work in progress that enables the teacher or the curriculum review to learn, create, and recreate the curriculum.
Let's talk about the curriculum quality audit. Curriculum quality audit, or the CQA, is a form of curriculum mapping. It is a process of mapping the curriculum, program, or syllabus against established standards. This process is supported by Susan Ruiz when she said that the best practice in curriculum development and implementation requires that discipline-based standards embody curricular and program scope and sequences. The curriculum quality audit requires a written curriculum and the tested curriculum linked to both the taught and the written curriculum. We as an educator are following a certain standards. That is why we must follow it. So the curriculum quality audit, it is a type of mapping in order for our teaching to be arranged and well sequenced, in order for the learners to understand our discussion well, because some don't have the interest in listening in our discussions. That is why we must give them activities in order for them to have experience, because experience is the best teacher for the learners. For those who want to engage in curriculum quality audit, the following questions are worth considering. Number 1, is the curriculum plan executed and assessed in accordance with appropriate standards? 2, how does the school system conform to the standards of quality in instructional organization like specificity, quality and scope for teaching, learning, and assessment? 3, are all students achieve success equally and effectively? If not, what can be done about it? As an educator, we are responsible to the learners of our learners. That is why we need to check if they really learn the lesson in today's class, for example. That is why we must have an evaluation for them, and also for us to know if our teaching is effective. That is why we must also learn to modify our teaching strategies in order for the learners to understand, because we all know that learners have different talents, different intelligence, and we are obligated to know what are their talents in order for us to nurture it and improve it for them to use it in the future. The benefits of curriculum quality audit. Number 1, identify gaps under an overrepresentation of the curriculum based on the standards. 2, ensures alignment of learning outcomes, activities, and assessment to the standards. 3, achieve an internationally comparable curriculum as standards become the basis of the curriculum analysis. We teachers must understand that the curriculum quality audit helps us in our teaching, because we must understand that we should only teach the learners those important discussions and avoid teaching them unnecessary things, because if we teach them the book without summarizing it, they will have, or they will be bored in class. And also we must be sure that our teaching must be balanced in our learning outcomes, in our activities, and assessment, in order for the learning to be enjoyable and fun. The Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers can be used as anchor in curriculum quality audit. The PPST aims to set clear expectations of teachers along well-defined career stages of professional development, from beginning to distinguished practice. The Philippines has adopted and implemented the PPST through the Department of Education Order DO 42 as 2017. Teacher Educators Program Heads, Curriculum Planners may refer to the PPST Quality Audit, the Pre-Service Teacher Education Curriculum as basis for quality assurance provision of teacher education. The first CQA in teacher education curriculum in the Philippines was initiated by the Research Center for Teacher Quality, the Philippine Normal University, Cebu Normal University, West Visayas University, Western Mindanao State University, and other member universities of the National Network of Normal Schools. Using the Curriculum Quality Audit or the CQA process, pre-service syllabi were mapped to the PPST to ensure that standards for beginning teachers or the career stage 1 are addressed in the pre-service curriculum. Using the CQA, teacher educators are assured that pre-service teachers embody the competencies of beginning teachers as they practice their profession in the Department of Education. There are other standards that can be used in CQA aside from PPST. CHED CMO 74 to 83 are standards set by the Commission on Higher Education, specific to the degree program being offered to the teachers who are the outcomes of the programs. They have both the generic standards for all the teacher education degree programs and the specific standards for each degree program. For example, CMO 74 S 2017 contains the standards for Bachelor of Elementary Education or for teachers who will teach in the elementary level, and CMO 75 S 2017 contains the standards for Bachelor of Secondary Education or for teachers who will teach in secondary level. Aside from the national standards for teachers like the Bachelors of Elementary Education and the Bachelors of Secondary Education, there are also international standards for globalization like the Competency Framework for Teachers in Southeast Asia or the CFTC or of CIMIO and CIMES, and the European Tuning